Okay, so then somebody asked for the update, and what I've been doing was the amicable route, which is to even get, I don't know how much the car was sold for. Even now, I don't know how much I owe. Even now, despite the car having been sold on 30th of July. And so now I get an email that my balance is paid up. So my car, which was worth about 800,000, I had already paid almost, in April alone, I paid over 160. My loan was 400,000. I have been paying since April last year. So a loan for 400,000, I've been paying from April 2024, and in April 2025, because I want to finish up the loan, I pay a lump sum. And after I paid that lump sum, that was the end of my relation with my car and I never got any other communication. The next thing I got was just, your agreement has been suspended. Now I've been told that was a bad thing. You're not supposed to pay a lump sum because it shows you're clearing your loan, and that's not a good thing. Again, apparently in this country, if you've already paid 2/3 of your loan, you can't have your items possessed, repossessed, or possessed. At this point, those words are interchangeable. And God. So they say that in fact, even after the sale of the car, I still owed them, and now they have cleared what I owed them, and they had even put me on CRB. I bought that car for 1.2 million. And so they have offered me a total of nothing. That's what they have offered. They've offered me nothing. I am worth, according to them, nothing. USD 0.
I think it's high time wale watu washaichukua loan na Mogo tukae chini tuongee. If you have ever taken a loan, would it be a car loan, a motorbike loan from Mogo? Kama ushaichukua loan Mogo, utaelewa nachaka nini. Wanaitwa Mogo Finance. So these guys will give you a call.
Imagine walking into a small office with nothing but desperation in your pocket. You are told the solution is simple. Leave behind your logbook, a laptop, or even your land title, and walk out with cash in minutes. At that moment it feels like salvation, but weeks later you are hiding from debt collectors, your car is gone, and your home is threatened. And the small loan has exploded into an impossible mountain of debt. For some, this is the start of endless humiliation. For others, it is the final step before taking their own life. In Kenya, this is the dark reality of Shylocks and predatory microfinance institutions. These lenders thrive on desperation, charging interest rates so high that repayment becomes nearly impossible. Borrowers who walk in looking for help often walk out chained to a nightmare. Cars are repossessed, land is sold, and entire families are left in ruins. The business model is simple. Shylocks offer what seems like quick, easy money. No bank queues, no credit checks, no guarantors, just collateral, something of value that you will never see again if you miss a single payment. The interest charged is outrageous, sometimes 20–40% per month. A delay of even 1 day can lead to threats, harassment, and immediate seizure of property. In many cases, Shylocks don't even wait for due dates. They hire auctioneers and thugs to seize cars, electronics, or land at the first sign of weakness. Microfinance institutions have entered the same space, but with more polish and branding. Companies such as Mogo are notorious for offering motorbike and logbook loans. On paper, they promise empowerment, helping riders and small traders build livelihoods. In practice, many Kenyans describe them as legalized Shylocks. Miss one installment and your motorbike is gone. Borrowers complain that repayment schedules are deliberately punishing, with hidden fees and charges that balloon the debt. For someone who depends on a motorbike for daily income, repossession means not just losing the bike, but also losing the ability to earn a living. The human cost is staggering. One Nairobi taxi driver borrowed 200,000 shillings against his logbook. 3 months later, the debt had ballooned to more than 400,000. He could not cope, and his car was repossessed overnight. That car had been his only source of income. Humiliated and hopeless, he later took his own life. His story spread widely on Facebook, sparking furious debates about why Kenya allows such exploitation to thrive. In Kisii, a widow trying to pay her child's hospital bills left her husband's land title deed as collateral. She defaulted, and the land was quickly transferred to a third party. Within weeks, her house was demolished, and her children were left homeless. Overcome with despair, she attempted suicide, only to be saved by neighbors. Her case became a rallying point on Twitter, where Kenyans trended hashtags like Shylock victims to express their outrage. Even students have been trapped. In Eldoret, a university student pawned her laptop for 20,000 shillings. When she failed to repay, not only did she lose the laptop, but she also lost months of thesis work. She admitted online that she considered suicide because of the stress and shame. These stories are not just about money. They reveal how Shylocks use fear and humiliation as weapons. Borrowers live under constant stress, afraid that debt collectors will show up at their homes, their workplaces, or even their schools. Some Shylocks are known to call employers and relatives, embarrassing borrowers into repayment. Psychologists warn that such pressure leads to depression, alcoholism, family breakdown, and suicide. On social media, the reactions are explosive. Some Kenyans call Shylocks vultures, predators, and legal robbers. Victims narrate heartbreaking stories of losing homes, cars, and businesses. Memes also circulate, showing boda riders hiding their bikes in pits or bushes to avoid repossession. The humor is bitter, masking a shared fear that anyone could be next. Others argue that borrowers must also take responsibility, warning that desperation is not an excuse to sign away valuable property for small loans. The debate is fierce, reflecting the deep frustration with Kenya's financial system. Cultural pressures make the situation worse. Many parents will do anything to avoid sending children home for school fees. Business owners borrow just to maintain appearances, fearing that closing shop even for a week will look like failure. Relatives and neighbors are less able to help, since everyone is struggling with the high cost of living. Traditional support systems such as Harambes no longer guarantee assistance. In this environment, Shylocks and microfinance companies position themselves as saviors, stepping in with instant cash while hiding the chains that come with it. The legal system does little to help. Shylocks register as pawnshops or asset financiers, making their contracts technically legal. Courts often side with them, since borrowers signed willingly. Microfinance companies, though licensed, exploit loopholes to charge extreme interest rates. Borrowers who seek legal protection often find the law stacked against them. The rise of digital lending apps has introduced a new kind of Shylock. These apps offer instant loans with just a few clicks, but the repayment periods are brutally short. If a borrower defaults, the apps send embarrassing messages to family and friends, publicly shaming the debtor. For many young people, this social humiliation is even more painful than repossession. Stories of ruined reputations and broken relationships are common across platforms like Facebook, WhatsApp, and Twitter. Consumer rights groups argue that Kenya needs stricter regulation. They propose limits on interest rates, government-backed emergency loans, and better financial education. Activists warn that without stronger laws, predatory lenders will continue to exploit poverty. Civil society groups call for expansion of public health insurance and bursary programs, so that families are not forced into Shylocks' arms by emergencies such as hospital bills or school fees. But Shylocks thrive because they fill a real gap. Banks are slow, bureaucratic, and unwilling to take risks. SACCOs demand guarantors and long waiting periods. Family and friends may not have enough to help. Emergencies strike without warning. An accident, a hospital bill, or sudden rent arrears. When faced with these crises, a Shylock who provides money in 10 minutes seems like the only option. Many borrowers admit that they know the risks, but desperation leaves them no choice. Behind every repossession is a broken family. Behind every unpaid loan is a person drowning in stress. And behind every suicide linked to Shylocks is a story that could have been prevented if society had stronger safety nets. Shylocks are not just a financial issue, they are a reflection of deeper economic pain, high unemployment, poor healthcare coverage, and a weak safety net. Until Kenya finds a balance between access to credit and protection from exploitation, Shylocks and microfinance companies will continue to thrive. The repossessions will go on. Social media outrage will continue, and more families will be destroyed. In the end, the tragedy of Shylocks is the tragedy of a society where poverty itself has become a business. This has been another edition of Crime Files. If this story opened your eyes, remember to hit the like button, share this video with friends and family, and subscribe to our channel. Your support keeps us going as we expose the hidden truths behind Kenya's darkest financial and social realities. Stay tuned because more shocking stories are coming soon.